If you're watching this, you have seen the first episode of Outlander. If you have not seen the first episode of Outlander, I would strongly encourage watching it because I am definitely going to be spoiling it. Okay, so we jump right in with a voiceover and Scottish Highlands. And we hear, well, we don't know who it is yet, but we know by the end of the episode, we hear Claire saying, "People disappear all the time." I can't do accents, by the way. They all turn Australian, but that's not going to stop me. Very surprised to see that we were in the 40s. I thought this was about time travel in the 1700s when I first watched the show. That blue coat, I don't know where I could get one of those, but I would like one. Cut to World War II Claire, where she's like saving someone's life and she's like got blood squirting everywhere and she's clamping arteries and shit. We're like, oh shit, Claire's a badass. They finally decide to give that guy morphine, which, what was taking them so long to do that? It seemed like he probably should have gotten that way sooner. Claire walks out and it's just like everyone's partying and they're like, V-Day, the war is over. And you're like, man, how much would it suck to be that dude who just got his like leg blown off on the last day of the war? Oh, it sucks so hard. Did totally respect Claire's champagne move. She's like, I'm done with this bullshit. Let's go back to England. I'd like a cup of tea. Where's that blue coat of mine? We hear another Claire voiceover where she's talking about how like, oh, if I was to do it over again, I would make all of the same choices. We get to the title sequence. The title sequence is like this wonderful song about a woman and a boat and sky and there's people dancing. There's all these scenes where you're like, what's happening? Sword fighting. Naked back. Ooh, sex. I think. I don't know. Somebody running in the mud. What's happening? Now it's the 40s. What's happening? Such good title sequence. If you can watch that title sequence and listen to that song and not be at least a little bit on board with this show, I assume that you do not have a soul. Title card. Are those forget-me-nots? Those look like forget-me-nots. I know forget-me-nots. I live in Alaska. It is our state flower. Those look like forget-me-nots. Do they have forget-me-nots in Scotland? We're in this, it looks like a Scottish town in the countryside. Well, I guess it's not countryside if it's a town, but like this cute, adorable Scottish town. Everything's like brick and stone, and it looks so fun. And this beautiful couple from the 40s is like driving, and then they get there, and you're like, who are these people? They seem cool. And the lady's like, oh look, it's Halloween. It's the Scottish Halloween. And I was like, wait, what? I feel like I need to do some research about Halloween now. Looking at Claire and Frank, they want to fuck. Like, they are into each other, which I respect. I like a show where the couple, the married couple, is into each other. So then this is where I get a little confused at this point in the show, because I'm like, hold on. Does she want to time travel? Is she trying to disappear? At the start, it sounded like she maybe was one of those housewives that wanted to disappear, but maybe not. So does she get kidnapped? What's going to happen? It's slightly convenient as he's pointing out a rock, and I was like, well, that's obviously going to come back later on, which it did. Frank, her husband, is super into history and genealogy, which is cool, but also how shitty would genealogy research be without the internet? Ugh. And very conveniently, Claire's newfound interest is botany. Okay, so I get it. It makes sense for the show. I'm assuming that's going to come back as she travels through time. I'm assuming that's going to be very valuable when there's not modern medicine. However, couldn't they have at least made some sort of connection? Like, I don't know, she talked to like some old witch in France when she was there with World War II, and like they taught her how to utilize some of the medicinal herbs to fix people or something, or she ran out of something during the war and she had to like fend for herself. Like, I need something, some reason other than I just got real into botany conveniently. Then they're walking through these castles and I'm still slightly confused because I'm like, wait a second, is she already a time traveler? Like, has she already been to these places? Because it seems like pretty likely that the show is setting up that she's going to be in these same places and interacting with them when she travels through time or when we see her. But then does it mean that she already traveled through time? We don't know yet, but she like is looking around and like she kind of knows the place. And so it's a little bit like, wait, what's happening? Why should I be paying attention to this? Then they go into this castle and they're like, going through, and Frank has his hat on all sideways, and he looks like he's in a murder mystery. See, she is like, let's open this door, and they do it together, and they just keep like looking at each other like, I'm like, these two want to fuck. And I am so into this. I love how much these two are into each other. It's awesome. He's gonna sit on this table, and he's like, don't you get dirty. And she's like, ooh, come on, I don't have any panties on. Okay, it didn't go down exactly like that, but pretty close. And this is an incredibly feminist moment. She is the one who is seducing him, but not in like a creepy, weird way. She's like initiating sexual encounter and initiating oral sex on a woman. And she even pushes his head down. Not only fantastic scene, very hot, also seemed dirty, and it seemed like there was probably spiders there, which made me a little like, ooh, spiders. But generally, pretty awesome. Now we're at this house with this old couple, and he looks like a preacher or pastor, or I don't know, some sort of religious person. And they're doing more genealogical research. And again, I can't help but think, ugh, how much easier this is with the internet now. All those books, and you have to read that old cursive writing. That sounds like a real nightmare. Ugh, no wonder she's more into botany than genealogy. Claire ends up in the kitchen with this old woman, and it's unclear, is she a housekeeper? Is she just like the reverend? I don't know I don't know religious stuff. So she's talking to this lady in the kitchen, and the lady's like, oh, I'll read your tea leaves. I'm sorry, is that a thing that people do? Where can I get my tea leaves read? I would like to know. And I would like to have that done as soon as we're done with this whole social distancing situation. And the lady's like real confused by Claire, and she's like, whoa, I think we got a witch here. These tea leaves don't make any sense. Weird, I can't make any assumptions about you. Let me see your hand. That'll be more accurate. And then she gets even more confused. And Claire kind of seems like she's hiding something. I did appreciate that she noted that Claire, she likes the sex, and she's good at it. I think that's what the lady was talking about. Like, your husband's not likely to leave your bed. I mean, yeah, from everything we've seen about Claire, that tracks. Just as things were getting kind of mysterious, Frank and Reverend whoever come barging in, and they're talking about things I have no idea. Sandringham, there's a Duke of Sandringham, and the Jacobites, and am I supposed to know who these people are? And I feel like maybe my American education did not do very good at teaching me about Scottish history. Just a thought. Back in the blue coat, so into that coat. It's such a nice color. We also see that this must be the random Tuesday afternoon where she's walking through the cute town and looking at the pretty blue vase. She's really into blue, which I'm also into, so I support that fully. Now the storm is breaking, and it's dark and rainy, and again Frank looks like he's in a 40s murder mystery, and I'm very into it. I love Frank. He seems cool. And he's walking, and he sees this guy, and the guy looks like he's wearing a kilt, but you can only see him from behind, and it's kind of dark, and he is definitely looking up at Claire in the window, and she's brushing her hair. And you're like, oh, are they gonna steal her? Is somebody gonna steal her through time? And Frank's like, excuse me, I was in the military. I don't think so. And then it's just gone. You're like, oh shit, what just happened? What just happened? And then Frank goes in the house, and he's like, I'm pretty sure I just saw a ghost. Which, I wanna pause here and commend Frank for acknowledging that it definitely seemed like a ghost. I'm assuming it was. And he is a big enough man to be like, that was definitely a ghost. Respect. Also, is this because that it's Halloween and all the spirits are out, or the ghosts are out? Is that what the lady in the bed and breakfast that also creepily was listening to them have sex was saying? I think that was what she was saying. So at that point, Frank is like, hey, did you have any Scottish people around you? I'm getting a little suspect here. And she's like, excuse me, what are you talking about? And then he just seemed real chill about hey, if you had to bang somebody, it's totally cool. And part of me wanted to be like, yeah, Frank, that's super cool. Look at you, you're progressive, you understand how it works. But then the other part of me is like, Frank, you seem real cool with this. What was going on where you were? And then I fell in love with Frank all over again. He believes in ghosts. He's pretty sure he saw a ghost, and he wants to go see witches. This seems like an amazing at the rocks. And there's the magical women who are dancing with their lanterns, the witches, but they also call them druids. I thought that a druid was what they have in Star Wars, like the things are like, well, I guess that's a droid? Is it the same thing? Apparently not. A druid is a witch. And the scene with the witches dancing around, it was really cool. Good music. The music really builds, and you're like, uh-oh, is she gonna disappear now? Is she gonna disappear now? Who's gonna time travel? Then nothing happened. I mean, they danced and it was beautiful, but then nothing happened. Then she goes over and sees the blue flower. I'm like, it looks like a forget-me-not. It looks like a forget-me-not. Is it a forget-me-not? And it is. Talk about Frank's ancestor a lot. They've named him several times, so I feel like this is going to come up. His name's Blackjack Randall. Part of me wondered if maybe she was married to Blackjack Randall and she's actually Frank's like great grandmother, and then also his wife, which is super weird, but I don't think that that's true. Probably not. There's white dress and the shawl, like the plaid shawl, and she has like cute flat shoes on. I really like the whole outfit situation that she has going. She's like, I'm gonna go back and get those flowers. I think they're forget-me-nots. And I'm like, yes, bitch! She goes up there and it's like she can hear a battle happening or something's going on. And then I was like, oh, buddy, we're getting into it. Sure enough, she's like, look at this giant big rock. I'm just gonna go up to it and touch it. And then black. And you're like, and it's new colors. And I'm like, oh, baby, we are not in the 40s anymore. It's like bright and beautiful. And she's like, whoa, where am I? What just happened? Wait a second. There's no road and where'd my car go? And that's extra hard when you're in the 40s because you don't have like the beep beep thing to be like, where's my car? Where's my car? Beep, 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 beep. What the fuck? And then she looks, she's like, are those motherfucking redcoats? What's happening? And she's like, who? What? Where? When? And then they shoot at her, which seems odd, but okay. I mean, I'm an American. Pretty much everything we've been taught throughout all of our history classes are that redcoats equal bad. So, yep, it tracks. Running through the woods, and Scotland is so beautiful and green and lush. It looks lovely, especially right now because it just snowed in Alaska yesterday and this morning. So I would like to be in that green lush Scotland, although probably not in the 1700s with a bunch of redcoats shooting at me. Bagpipes are going. I'm like, oh yeah, we're going. She like stops and she starts screaming. There's a redcoat and he's like getting some water and he looked and I'm like, holy shit, it's Frank. Frank went through time too. But no, it's not Frank. It's probably his ancestor, I'm assuming. That's his ancestor? Oh, and weirdly, even though it's played by the same guy, they look like a little bit different. The mannerisms, just the facial expressions, you can already see like there are differences between them. I'm assuming he's gonna be in that more. And then it's like 20 seconds into their interaction and he's trying to rape her, which, God, forgot how much the 1700s sucked to be a woman. Fortunately, this other guy, this Scottish guy, well, yeah, Scottish guy with the kilt, he comes and he's like, no red coat, and he takes her. And then he takes her behind the tree and she's like, meh, and she's screaming. I'm like, Claire, I don't know. I would probably scream too. Who knows who the good guys and bad guys are in this situation? But then the guy who saves her, he takes the back of his sword and he like hits her on the head and she passes out. And I have to imagine that there's like a lot of room for error when you do something like that. How do you know how hard to hit someone so that you don't kill them, but you do make them pass out? It seems like a dangerous thing to learn how to do. I feel like there's probably a lot of failed attempts at that. And how does one learn how to do that? Now she's in this like little cabin thing and they're speaking, and at first I couldn't understand if they were speaking English or another language because sometimes people with Scottish accents are really hard to understand. But I think it's Gaelic. Like, oh shit, are these guys gonna rape her too? I forgot what it's like in the 1700s. Men just be raping left and right. They all look very dirty and bloody, but they also seem like they're like the cool, they're the underdogs in this situation. Like if we were in the US in the 1700s, they would be the 1770s. They would be like the militia that are fighting the redcoats. So you kind of get a feeling like these seem like these seem like slightly better dudes than the last group of dudes that she was interacting with. So it seems slightly better. They haven't raped her yet, which seems like a plus, although they almost immediately start to threaten rape. And they call her her, which is my favorite word to say with a Scottish accent. You her. I feel like we would call people whores more, and it would be more like a term of endearment if we all said it with a Scottish accent like that. If we were all like, ew, you're her, you're her. It's so good. It's like a way funnier word when you say it that way. At that point, the men are all trying to like do something to this one guy. This one guy's like hunched over by the fire, and like it's obvious something's wrong. It's unclear at first, but it turns out he has a dislocated shoulder, and you can see like the bone sticking up, which I don't actually think is how it works, but I get it. Like we had to understand what was happening. And I like that she's like, oh, God, these fucking men, they're such idiots. She's like, they've already threatened to rape me, but okay, I'll step in and help you. And she's like, don't do that, you idiots. Like, you're gonna break his arm. She's like, here, I'll do it. And they're all like, who is this bitch? Look at this. And so she comes and she's like, and I was like, oh no, oh no, oh no. Oh, that noise. It doesn't actually make that noise when you snap a bone back into place. I don't know if I ever want to find out. I'm good just not knowing. We really get a look at the guy who she fixed his shoulder thing, and you're like, oh, this looks like leading man. Look at that jawline. This guy's somebody. Because at first you were like, wait a second. I know that she ends up like connecting with somebody in the 1700s, and could it be the guy who saves her? But you're like, hey, he's cute, but he doesn't he just seems like another like henchman type guy. And then when she gets to the cabin, the guy who seems like he's in charge kind of looks like Mr. Monopoly with his mustache and bald head, and then his bonnet like to the side. And it's like, that doesn't seem like he's skeptical of her. But this guy, bone shoulder guy, seems like somebody who's important, because again, that jawline screams leading man. And I'm like, all right. Of course I was right, because almost immediately then she has to get on the horse with him, which I thought it was kind of funny that they were like, okay, this guy can only use one arm, so let's also put our prisoner woman on the saddle with him, so that he not only has to help hold her, but also so that like he also has to control his horse with that. It seemed odd, but okay, all right. And then he's all nice and he's wrapping his skirt around her, and she's like, I'm not cold. And you're like, Claire, your teeth are chattering really a lot, and it's raining, and it looks like it's fall. So, and again, I understand that kind of weather situation. That's not a warm rain. That's a cold rain. Horses, and they're like galloping along. And here's the thing. There's nothing I love more than a horse in a show, because horses aren't actors. And so when they're doing shit, they're just like being horses, and the actors are trying to act along with them. So it's my favorite thing to watch when the actors are like, something scary, and the horses are like, what's happening? Start watching it. Watching the horses during these action scenes is hilarious, because again, horses don't act. They just be horses and be awesome. The rock, the cock rock, whatever it's called, comes back just like predicted. I thought it was very convenient that old Frank back in the 40s told her about that. Very helpful. Also, I feel already that this woman is going to get accused of being a witch. It's only a matter of time. And then we get to the point where the redcoats are like, pew, 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 pew. And the Scottish guys are like, get out of here, Claire, they're under the bushes. And then they're like, and then we don't really see that battle, which is kind of nice, because it seems like it probably was kind of bloody. And she takes off running, which is really hard to do somewhere where there's not a trail. I'm surprised she's not bleeding more by the end of it. And then the hot ginger guy who she fixed his shoulder, rides up on his horse, and he's like, excuse me, and no. And she's like, I'm gonna run away. And it's like, okay, Claire, I mean, he has a horse, and he's like twice your size, so probably no. He seems nice. He hasn't tried to rape you yet. That's a plus. And he's covered with blood, but it's not his. It's fine. Or not much of it. And I'm like, oh, this guy, he's so charming. Look at him. Even with blood on him, he's kind of charming. Then he threatens to throw her over his shoulder. And I was like, I volunteer as tribute. I volunteer. And she's like, I'll just do it myself. And you're like, yeah, where did you think you were going? It's nighttime, and they're riding the horses still through the nighttime, and hot ginger guy falls off the horse. He like passes out, and she's like, oh no, he's going down. And she jumps off, and she realizes he has a bullet hole. Thank God his traps are so big that it just went right through the muscle, and she needs to disinfect it. And again, at this point, Claire is aware that she is not in the 40s anymore. She has come to terms with that, yet still asks them for 1940s era stuff. And I want to be like, Claire, you are going to get yourself burned as a witch pronto if you keep up with these words like methotrexate and iodine, whatever it is. I mean, alcohol made sense, but Jesus, Claire, come on. But I do appreciate what a boss bitch Claire is. She's like, look, I've been in the military. I went through World War II. I'm used to dudes being dumbasses and not listening to me. And I'm not going to put up with your bullshit. I'm going to save this guy's life, okay? Even though you guys have me kidnapped. Like, you guys are assholes and I'm still doing this for you. Oh, and then the last of it, the last scene, they're walking up to that castle that she was at with Frank where he went down on her. So now we know why, like she probably sensed that she had been there before technically, or she was gonna go there. Sort of unclear at this time. I also, in wrapping up the thoughts about all of this, I wonder is she stuck in the past because she only, like you can only go through the stones sometimes because like that was Halloween and like the people did the dance. Like does she have to find a bunch of witches to do the dance in order to get back? And is she gonna get back? I imagine it seems weird that they would set up that wonderful relationship with her and Frank only to never show him again. But I guess he's playing his ancestor in the past. I don't know. So final thoughts on this episode. I give this episode 7 champagne bottles drinking directly after doing full-on surgery and probably having to go back into surgery with someone. It was good, but it felt a little like, okay, these things are real on the nose. I get it. They had to prep. Well, I'm looking forward to episode 2, and I hope the 3 people who are watching this, one of whom I imagine is my mother, are also looking forward to it.